After traveling more than 4,000 kilometers through Korea and China, I will attempt to cross one of China's most notorious borders. 5 military checkpoints are spread over 300 kilometers, defining the Chinese borders, whereafter we have to get through intense interrogation before we can walk at 3,000-meter altitude to the Kyrgyz border, from where we will be on the mercy of the truck drivers to pick us up so that we can arrive at our final goal, Osh, the second biggest city in Kyrgyzstan.
So, good morning. It's 8:50, last day here in Kashgar. So, I think I have other clips. I never managed to get a bus ticket or something. I fucked up. There's no bus ticket to Bishkek for at least a week until 10th of July. In the end, there's no bus for at least a week, and I don't have that much time. So the alternative plan, we have an alternative plan, you will see. So now we have to get to Kyrgyzstan the complicated way, which means taking this shuttle, which we haggle down to almost the real price, 40 yuan instead of 50. That's totally fine. So we take this shuttle for 2 hours, then we have to take a taxi to the border, then we have to do like 5 or 6 border controls. Like we first get the Chinese stamp, and then there we have to get like a very special shuttle for the in-between area, because those are Uyghurs and China and always everything complicated. So, and then at the other side we come in Kyrgyzstan, and from there there's no taxis and no buses or anything, and then we have to hitchhike the big trucks to Osh, which should be fine because there's only one street down the mountain, and from there I want to go to Bishkek, which is like another 10 hours hitchhiking. No, much more, 10 hours driving. Okay, let's go.
First, I want to introduce our companions.
Hello, this is from Japan. I'm studying in Uzbekistan and I want to go back to Uzbekistan from Kashgar. So I planning to cross this border, and I accidentally meet with what's your
Adrian.
name? Adrian.
I'm totally keeping this in.
For crossing that border from Xinjiang area to Kyrgyzstan was very hard. As I expected, they give me a lot of questions.
And of course,
Hi there, I'm Lisa. I'm from Germany and I met Adrian in Kashi and in the hospital, and then we decided to travel together to Kyrgyzstan because the borders on the weekend were closed. Actually, my actual plan was to go to Tajikistan, but it was a really long process of getting the permission to go to the border, and I didn't know it's so complicated in China, to be honest.
this border crossing is notorious for how long foreigners are interrogated. And the reason lies in the region we are coming from, Xinjiang. It's a highly sensitive area for the Chinese government, because it's home for the Uyghur people, a Muslim minority with a very different culture, language and religion. Over the past years, international organizations and media have reported on heavy restrictions placed on the Uyghurs, from mass surveillance and checkpoints to the large-scale detention of people in so-called re-education camps. Because of this, the government keeps extremely tight control over what information leaves the region. For foreign travelers, that means hours of questioning, who you met, what you photographed, where you stayed. Even a simple notebook or a few extra photos on your phone can lead to a longer interrogation. This is why the Kashgar to Kyrgyzstan crossing is considered one of the toughest in Central Asia. For the Chinese authorities, it's not just about protecting a border, it's about controlling the story of what happens in Xinjiang.
Part 1 done. So this is, I don't know what it is. It's immigration, maybe.
After driving for 2.5 hours with the first shuttle, we arrived at the first border checkpoint. From this point on, we cannot record anything anymore, or there will be consequences if they catch us do so. And of course I still recorded like the view, you know, whatever. After driving for many hours more, we finally arrived at the lost Chinese checkpoint. From there, we went with the other people, went to the main building, and there we queued to get the final stamp. But this would have been too easy, of course. So when we were queuing there, they called the three of us back, brought us to the first room, a big hallway. The two girls had to go to one side of the room, and I had to wait on the other side. There, they first began questioning me. As a Japanese woman, working as an archaeologist in Uzbekistan, was under the highest suspicion of being a journalist. Since she's an archaeologist, she's basically Indiana Jones. So she could move around freely, maybe she has a camera, she could photograph things, she could interview people. So they asked her...
I got a lot of questions about why you are studying in Uzbekistan, what's your friend doing?
And they ask you to show you pictures, and they ask you what?
Who is this man? But actually the picture was me. And I explained this is me. Yesterday I was very tired this time. I was sweating like this. This is me, this is not man. And here, okay, it's you, okay, like that.
They asked her about her field of archaeology, specific questions.
What's your interest in archaeology? So I said, I'm interested in like a Buddhist art.
A lot of things about her university, where she works, with whom does she work, where are those people from, which countries. She had to make example of professors and other students.
And they scroll my camera and showed like, what is this book about? And this is like a Buddhist art history. I explained and they said, oh, okay, like this. I don't know what they want, but I just explain everything, not to be lie, because I'm not sure what will happen. So I said everything true, and they get my point, and that's it. But I'm a little bit worried about if they say like, oh, you speak Uzbek, then you speak with Uyghur people, and it's gonna be a bit political issue. So I try not to pretend like I know Uzbek.
And meanwhile, I started getting nervous. I was on the other side of the room, and I was like, not ready for this at all. After a long time, they then went to Lisa. The way they approached the questions with Lisa was a very different way. Lisa, not being an archaeologist, was not under the same kind of suspicion. So most of the questions were related to me, actually.
For me, I wasn't that nervous, and the question he asked was really weird in my opinion. Like the second question they asked me was like, is he your boyfriend? And I was like, no. And also he was looking through my polar stab to know like where I'm coming from, where I've been before and stuff like that. But he didn't check my albums or pictures at all. They also asked a lot of questions about Adrian instead of
So they asked, where have we met? But we only barely knew each other, right? So Lisa even was like struggling for a second remembering my name when they asked about it.
And in the end they asked like, is he boy or girl? And I was like, he's a boy, obviously.
And then they came over to me. He sat down next to me and he went through my passport.
Asked about every place I went, why I went there and how long I went there. But he didn't ask about Korea, which is very great. Because I'm very sure if he would have asked Korea, a lot of new questions would have come.
So I was like, oh my god, if he finds out that I was studying in South Korea, that's so much worse than studying in Uzbekistan, then they will never let us go. And he asked me what I'm doing now. I'm working for my university as a data scientist in biochemistry. I'm of course not going to say data science because this is just cutting edge. I'm not going to say data science because this is just cutting edge. I'm not going to say data science because this is just cutting edge technology. So I said biology. And he looked at me and was like, oh, okay, biology. Is it neuroscience, genetics, what specific field? And I'm like, oh shit. I was like biochemistry. And he's biochemistry, and he's like, oh, okay. Chemical level, or is it about proteins? And I was like, yes, protein, spectral tuning, you know? And he's like, oh, okay, interesting. And I realized, I was like, this random guy he has like academic knowledge of many different fields, right? If I would have said data science, I would have gotten the same kind of specific questions. And then he wanted that I tell him the results of my universities of our studies, which is insane. So I was like, we have unsuccessful research, no results. So he accepted this question, and then he started going through my phone. All my pictures in my gallery are sorted. I have my Japan trip, I have my Vietnam trip, I have my China trip, whatever. And he went through every gallery and just scrolled through it and randomly stopped and then asked like, who is this? What is that? Like, just random pictures. He found my map and like, what is this? You know, I had to explain. So he was doing this and he was like scrolling and scrolling, and I was like, I'm just getting more and more nervous. Just like, I don't know what he's going to find.
I wasn't sure what they could find on my phone. Maybe a political meme that he would dislike, or just a very private moment with a friend or a loved one, which I would not want to share with this stranger at some Chinese checkpoint. I found in my life my privacy has never been invaded as violently as now by a person which just had the power to do so, and I had no chance to refuse, not knowing of the consequences if I would do so. After 2 hours at the border and many questions, we finally made it. We have our Chinese stamp and we'll cross now the border to Kyrgyzstan, where we really hope that it goes much faster than the Chinese side. We walked half an hour in the burning sun, 3,000 meters up, and we wanted to buy something to drink in the duty shop, but it's closed. This is a funny border.
Yeah.
So, how long did the Chinese border take us?
I think it's 3 hours.
And how long did it take us to get the Kyrgyzstan stamp?
30 seconds.
Yeah, maybe 1 minute for everyone.
Yes.
Welcome to Kyrgyzstan.
My name is Erlan. Yeah, it's Kyrgyzstan.
Irlan saved our ass. He's organizing us a car which drives us all the way to Osh, eh?
This like.
Hello, camera. We got the premium boss. Yeah. Actually, truck, premium truck.
The transition we experienced in this truck from this dry and cold Chinese landscapes to green and lush Kyrgyzstan was one of the most incredible things not only I, as well the other Uyghurs, have experienced so far. The ecstasy of having survived the Chinese border crossing, and now being so free in this country where I feel like we are not restricted at all. We went up to 4,000 meters. The landscapes were just like plain fields, so it felt like you're in a valley, but the air is very thin and the light behaves differently. It was ecstatic. It was one of the most beautiful and wonderful places I have ever been. We were smiling and laughing and staring out of this truck. We saw horses outside and so many steppe nomads living in their tents. It was incredible. Even if we are already exhausted from the journey until there, we were so thankful for having the opportunity to doing our journey in the way we did. And this all would have never happened if we would have taken a plane, right?
So, we arrived where the trucks sleep. That means we're not in Osh. It's 10:30. So, one of his friends came to pick us up, which is super nice. And maybe also him. And we will move now from here to the hostel, which is maybe another hour. But yeah, went very smoothly. All of us have a headache because of the altitude, because we went up 4,000 meters. Hopefully that goes away soon, but otherwise everyone is doing well and fine. It was a very smooth ride, very comfortable. 5 out of 5. We made it to the hostel.
Yes.
It's 12. Lisa went to eat. We are all very tired and have a headache and want to shower. That's it. It was a good day. Bye bye.
Bye bye.